I have never hidden my beliefs. I've never hidden the fact that I am a conservative Christian and I hold conservative Christian beliefs. But I've also never assaulted anyone or called them names simply because they believe differently. I've argued, I've debated, I've discussed, but I don't mistreat people because they disagree with me. That's not how things are supposed to work in a civilized society. The left, however, doesn't believe that way. They believe that if you disagree, if you don't obey them, marching lockstep in line with everything they tell you to do, that you're to be destroyed. Norma McCorvey, or Jane Roe, is now a pro-life activist. But people are using her sobriquet, her nom de guerre, from that court case in '73, that of Jane Roe, to claim credit for destruction of property, vandalism, and worse. They're assaulting people, beating them, destroying their property, in the name of, we have a right to murder our child. They're spreading lies that the reversal of Roe v. Wade by the Supreme Court criminalizes and makes abortion illegal. It does not. It is a 10th Amendment decision that states the states will decide. New York, blue. California, blue. Seattle, Oregon, blue. The states where most of the violence is are going to legalize abortion. And these people are going to still be screaming, but no, Roe v. Wade was sacred. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. There are only a handful of things, 26 to be exact, that the Supreme Court cannot declare unconstitutional because they're in the Constitution. Those are the Bill of Rights, the 1st through 26th Amendment. They cannot declare the Senate can make a tax. That has to originate in the House, according to the Constitution. They cannot declare the president can enact a law. That is the legislative body's job. But when something is clearly not mentioned in the Constitution as a federal right or decision or power, it's supposed to stay with the states. And that's what they decided last Friday. And since then, actually for almost 2 full months, the left have been destroying what they do not own or have any right to destroy because they're not given their way. And not much is being done. Imagine if pro-life protesters who truly were peaceful were simply handing out literature, and a liberal decided, that's assault. You pushed that at me, that's assault. How fast would they be demanding the arrest and imprisonment of those pro-life protesters? Pro-life protesters have been arrested for simply protesting at abortion clinics. Project Veritas and others have had people arrested and charged with felonies for exposing criminal activity by Planned Parenthood. But these people can riot, assault, destroy, and vandalize property pretty much with immunity. And it needs to stop. I am adamant pro-life, to the point that I went and spoke to doctors, and I called doctors, and I wrote doctors, specifically asking them, have they ever encountered a situation where there were 2 choices, mother and child die, or abort the child to save the mother? To a person, they all said never have encountered it, and all but 1 or 2 said I can't fathom a situation where it would have to happen. This does not include ectopic pregnancies, which is one outside the uterus. This does not include those things that do threaten the life of the mother, but it is not an abortion to take care of the situation. An abortion kills a healthy prenatal or in the womb child. Removing an ectopic pregnancy does not. I've said for a while, I cannot think of any DA that would press charges or judge or jury that would impose criminal sentence for a doctor who said I had no choice. I could watch the mother die, which would kill the child, or I could save the mother's life. I don't care what the laws are. They're not going to rule the doctor should have let them both die. They're not going to do that. It's just not going to happen. But these are the same people who scream at you that you've misgendered them. If you meet someone that you don't know, that you've never seen in your life, and you greet them with ma'am or sir. There is an old adage: you catch more flies with honey than you do with vinegar. And it's very true. For someone who wants to go by gender neutral pronouns, or they identify as male when they're biologically female or vice versa, if someone uses a pronoun that they don't want to use, what would go over better? Screaming and yelling at the person, accusing them of horrific crimes, demanding they be punished, or acting as an adult and saying, no, I don't respond to those forms of address. I prefer to be addressed this way. An example I've used: Gina Carano. For those of you who are my age or older, or close, China from the WWE. You put either of those women in slacks and a blazer with close cropped hair, and someone is seeing them from behind, a lot of people are going to think that's a guy. Both, well, Gina is and China was very broad-shouldered, very tall, very muscular. And quite simply, if Gina wore a buzz cut, slacks, black tennis shoes, and a blazer, and you saw her from behind, you're going to think guy. As soon as Gina turns around, you're going to go Gina Carano, not a guy. But if you walked up, pardon me, sir, and she turned around and just looked at you, you're going to go, I'm sorry, ma'am. Because one, you're going to know who she is, and you're going to know that she doesn't use the opposite pronoun. I could rant about how the left screams you cannot define man or woman, but suddenly this is a woman's rights issue. The same people who scream men can get pregnant are demanding this is a woman's rights issue, and they don't see the hypocrisy in either of those. But it is very simple. If you wish to protest something, do so peacefully. Stand, hold your signs. Work as a grassroots organization, trying to change people's minds, but do so as an adult. Not screaming and yelling at them and attacking them and calling them horrific names and so on. Don't attack and destroy property as if, well, if I can't kill my unborn child, you can't help women who don't want to. And that's what they're literally doing. They're firebombing, defacing, and otherwise destroying crisis pregnancy centers, where young women who are pregnant, who don't want to seek an abortion, go to seek help. They're attacking churches simply because those people hold religious beliefs. They're assaulting people on the street. And the police are doing very little. I commented on a video several days ago about a preacher, actually I believe it may have been one of my videos, a preacher who was assaulted in, I believe, Seattle. Assaulted, his Bible taken from him, ripped to shreds, and part of it thrown into the fecal matter in a porta toilet. All that's been said is, well, he was asked to leave and he didn't, so he broke the law. He was not asked to leave because he was illegally preaching. He was not asked to leave because he didn't have a permit. He was told, these people are violent and they're going to target you. Maybe you should just leave and let them be violent. and he chose not to. And the police, who were there to ostensibly protect the city and the people around, did nothing. I still maintain that police are being told by their higher-ups not to arrest the far-left rioters, not to interfere in the far-left radical riots, because the people in these cities who run these blue cities want chaos. They want people assaulted so they can blame the people who were assaulted for egging on the radical left rioters who firmly believe, if I don't get my way, I will burn this city down. Imagine, if you will, not horribly long ago in human history, when Chicago began their far left gun control surge. Imagine if Second Amendment protesters had simply shown up at City Hall with signs. Not violent, not actually getting on the premises or property, just showed up with signs and stood there. Don't infringe on my rights. Don't tread on me. Shall not be infringed. How fast would they have been arrested? How quickly would Rahm Emanuel or Lori Lightfoot or any other Democrat have demanded that they are threatening people by simply standing there holding a sign? But when liberals riot, destroy property, vandalize property, assault people, steal their belongings and destroy them, it's mostly peaceful protest. I know I never expected a response, but that you have someone in a position like a Chris Cuomo who can actually sit on live television with a worldwide audience. Tell me where in the Constitution it says protest has to be peaceful. First Amendment, Chris. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, nor abridging the freedom of speech, freedom of the press, the right to peaceably assemble and petition for redress of grievances. It's not a protest when you're burning buildings, when you're assaulting people. It's a riot. It's domestic terrorism, really. It's a group of people saying, you will not be allowed to live if you don't obey me. Yet we have people like Kinzinger who liken Marjorie Taylor Greene to the Christian Taliban because she speaks about her beliefs. You have people like Billy Joe from Green Day who say he's renouncing his citizenship because Roe v. Wade was overturned. And he's going to try and stay in the UK. Well, Billy should really look up the laws about abortion in the UK. They're stricter than a lot of blue states. But they didn't have Roe v. Wade. They don't have a constitution. And they really have very little say in what their government does because they have an oligarchy in the House of Lords. Yeah, they can elect people to the House of Commons, but the House of Lords is where the power is. But it's not about abortion. It's not about guns. It's not about anything other than control. That's all it's ever been about, and it's all it will ever be about. And God help us the day the left actually manages to completely and totally seize control of everything. Because on that day, their jackboots will be sent out to every state they don't control the legislature in, or the gubernatorial mansion in, to arrest all who disagree, to install puppets, and then to declare, you will obey or you will be killed. They couch their socialist mantra in, no one's ever done it right. When we do it, everyone will be equal. We'll all have a house, we'll all have a car, we'll all have the same food, we'll all have everything equal. Ignoring the fact that Cuba, Venezuela, China, Nazi Germany, Socialist Russia, and so on, all started that way. They all started the same as Animal Farm does. Everyone is equal. They all end the same way. We're more equal than you. You will obey, or else. I will not apologize for my faith. I will not apologize for my beliefs. And I will not stop calling out the violent left and their desire to browbeat and bully the world into obeying them. Thank you for watching, for letting me rant. Make sure you're subscribed. Leave me a comment. Just remain civil so that we can actually have a discussion. Until next time, God bless.